Hi guys, for today's lesson we're going to be dealing with constructing a network diagram from an activity chart, and we're just going to be dealing with just basic ones today. Okay, so the rules to remember is that we need to be able to represent a project's activity chart as a network in order to determine the most efficient order of activities, because this is all about critical path analysis. It's all about finding the most efficient way to complete a project. And just from the chart alone, that won't tell you like the best way to do these activities like A, B, and C. You need to be able to make a network diagram and use that tool to be able to do it. So this is kind of like the next step of the process of critical path analysis. So let's start with a very basic activity chart. So here we've got an activity chart like this. We've got 3 activities, A, B, and C. And the predecessors for A is nothing. You can start with A. To do B, you must have done A. And to do C, you must have done B. So this is as basic an activity chart as you can get. And we can make a network diagram for it. So our start position is pretty much saying you can do A straight away. So A comes out of our starting dot. This line here represents doing the activity A, and this dot right here represents A being completed. Once A is completed, you can commence B, and once B is completed, you can then commence C, and you get to the finish of your project. It's really important that it's a directed network. You need to show these arrows to show which way kind of the network is flowing. It's going from start to finish typically. Okay, so note, the edges represent the activities. The vertices represent the start and the completion of activities. So this is really important. This is not always the case. We're used to putting these letters typically on the dots, but when you're dealing with these activity charts, it kind of changes around and the letters are on the edges. Let's do some harder examples of this. So construct an activity chart from the following network. So they've given you the network. Can you go back to the activity chart? So we look at this and we think to ourselves, well, at the starting position, you can either choose to go this way or this way. You can do A or B first. So that means A and B have no prerequisites. So we're going to have dashes for both A and B. Now C comes out of the activity A being completed. So to do C, you need to have done A already. The same thing goes for D. To start D, that comes out of the A activity. So therefore, to do D, you also must have done A first. So C and D both have the prerequisite of A. Next up, E. E required B to be completed. So therefore, E has the prerequisite of B. F, where's F? F is up here. F has the prerequisite of C, the one just before it. Make sure it's the immediate predecessor. So C was just before F. G here has F just before it. So G, we put the predecessor of F for G. And H. H comes out of both D and E, which joins up to H. So therefore, H requires both D and E. So for H, we put D and E next to it. You'll notice that these two final tasks, like nothing requires both H and G to be completed. Like G and H don't appear in any prerequisites, so they are going to be the activities that join up to the finish. Okay, so that's our prerequisite. That's our table done. As simple as that. We just put our activities in a list, and then the prerequisites go next to it. Okay, question 2. Construct a network from the following activity chart. So they give you the chart. You need to now make this sort of network, like up here. This is definitely a lot trickier to make the network. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go from start to finish. And first up, you want to deal with your starting activities, the ones with no immediate predecessors. So that's A, B, and C. So from our starting position, our starting dot, A, B, and C can all come out. So you want to draw those dots in first. You want to do the A dot, the B dot, and the C dot. Now, it's really important that you're doing this sort of thing in pencil because some of these lines can get rubbed out. Okay, step 2, once you've done your ones with no predecessors, you want to do your next one. So now we've got D, and D has the predecessor of B. So coming out of the B activity, we want to have our D line with our D dot as well. So that shows that to do D, you must have done B already. So that's what our diagram's next going to look like next. Step 3, let's do the next activity, E. Now to do E, you need A and C kind of coming before this activity E. So that means because A and C need to be before this one E, we need A and C actually coming together. We need A and C going to the one dot. And at the moment, you'll see that A and C finish at different dots. How can we make these different dots become the same dot? Well, what we do is we literally we join these two dots up. So how do we do that? We can pretty much make these lines come around like this. We can extend the lines around. So you can see here that this dot and this dot, we've pretty much just pulled these two dots all the way around to become the same dot like this. So the A and C lines have just got a lot longer. You're allowed to make them longer. There's nothing wrong with that. And the B and the D lines stayed the same. So we need our E to be coming out of both A and C. So we have our E line coming out of this single dot. Okay, so that's the E activity done. Next up, we've got the activity F, and for that we need E and D. We need E and D to be joined up to the same dot, so F can come out of that dot. Okay, so the way to do this is to make E and D become the same dot. So we need this dot for D to be the same as this dot right here. We need those to be the same. So we can extend this line so it comes all the way around to this dot as well. So that's exactly what we do here. This line just goes all the way around and comes to that same dot with E. And we needed F to come out of this dot here. And you'll notice that G is exactly the same. It has the same thing. E and D, the G line has to come out of these two lines as well. So you can see that F comes out of this dot and also G does as well. Okay, so that's those ones done. You'll notice now we've got all the letters in. The last thing is to do is to pretty much look at your end dots, and you want to join these dots together to make the finish. So pretty much we just link these two dots together and we call that the finish. So you can see this is just these are just going to curl around as they do here to your finish dot. And that is your network. Definitely not the prettiest thing, but they don't have to be pretty. They just need to be accurate. It doesn't matter if they cross each other. Just make sure that you've got the right sort of connections. Hope this helps. Good luck with the questions.